Alright, so what we found here was a bunch of stuff in the same town that I found the PS1 lot from. I went the next day. There was supposed to be like a consignment sale in their local mall, and it said they had, like video game stuff there. So I went to check it out, and they had a bunch of Wii games, which was really, really cool. Except, the sales thing was, they said that they could sell their stuff like 50 to 90% off retail. But when I got there, it did not seem that way at all. There was one game that in particular that caught my eye. I wanted to get this one because it's just a pretty good game. It's popular. Mario Party 8. How much does that game go for, guys? Maybe $22, $25 at most. They had a sticker on it for 30 bucks. So if they're trying to say they're getting half retail off, are they talking about the day it was released? Maybe. So I'm like, okay, no thanks. Thank you though. So I didn't even bother really looking at their other games because it wasn't worth my time. Just looking at that one was, and the rest were just kind of, like filler shovelware anyway, so it wasn't really worth my time. So I left there, but I went to the local Ark of town over there, so it wasn't too big of a loss. And I found a couple things that were actually useful. First we got here 2 original Microsoft Xbox controllers here. These aren't the Dukes, these are just the smaller ones. One's got some wear on the thumbstick there, but that's not too bad. Again, both of these are missing the breakaway cables. I don't know how that happens. I don't know why that's such a common theme, but it happens all the time. But these both work fantastically, and they were only $2 each, which I cannot complain, so that's very cool. So there's those. Then we found an AV cable for an Xbox 360. That was $1, which I can't complain at either. That's very cool. And then I found a power brick for an Xbox 360 Elite console. And if you guys saw my last video, I just picked up an Elite, but it did not have a power brick. So now I can put this with it. The only thing is the power strip, or the power port plug, does not have enough voltage power to power the whole brick. I don't know why, but this cord says it's 125 volt. But the other Xbox 360 I have, I put a generic, general power cable, wall plug socket for a regular computer, like an old computer tower. I use that, and it's, it's a 300 volt cable, so maybe that's the deal. So I think you can just basically piece any 300 volt cable that would be used for a computer tower, you can use on these Xbox 360 bricks because they're basically the same kind of functions. So I'll have to find one. So not too big a deal, but this was $2. So I can't complain. The power brick does work. I tested it with the other cord that I have, so that's cool. So at least that works. So that's cool. Alright, and that was on Thursday. The PS1 lot I got on Wednesday. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so all that stuff that I just showed you, the Xbox controllers and stuff, that was found on Thursday. Now we're going to get into yesterday, which was Saturday. And all this stuff was found throughout the day, so it's very cool. But me and my brother Tyler decided to go to a few garage sales, and I thought this was really cool. There was one garage sale that we thought was in particular pretty cool. We saw it on Craigslist, we saw an ad for it. They said they had old Nintendo games, and right away that struck me off as saying NES, maybe Super Nintendo, maybe even N64. So we got there. We were really excited. We were ready to see like this old dusty box full of games and maybe even a console or something. It was exciting. But unfortunately, when we got there, their term of old Nintendo games was Wii. So it was kind of a bummer. They didn't have anything spectacular, anything at all. So I didn't bother buying any Wii games. I mean, like the best one that they had there was probably Wii Play, and that's not even worth a whole lot anyway. So I wasn't worried about it. But they did have a couple of PS2 games, a couple of Xbox games, and a PS1 game. I picked up the one PS1 game and one Xbox game, and these were both together $1. So these were 50 cents each, which is not bad. So the first one here is a complete copy of Siphon Filter, Greatest Hits, and I did have one of these that I picked up with the PS1, so now I got 2 of them. But I forgot the case is kind of broken, but there it is, it's complete. So kind of be careful with these jewel cases. They got those hinges that are kind of snapped and whatnot. So, but anyways, there's that one. If I can put it back together, there we go. And then we've got Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Platinum Hits for Xbox. And that one is 100% complete, and the disc looks brand new. So, very cool. 50 cents each. I can't complain. They were garage sale finds, so that's pretty cool. But that's not all. We found some more garage sales throughout the day. So that one that we looked up on Craigslist led to a chain of more. I would say we probably went to maybe 5 or 6 different garage sales. There wasn't a whole lot yet because it's still kind of early in the season. But out of the 5, I'd say 3 had game stuff that were beneficial to us. So we went to the next one. It was, they had some kid stuff. We looked around. They didn't have anything, so we left. But then there was one down the street from that, and this guy had a bunch of electronic stuff. And it was really cool because what he does is he buys stuff and then he sells it at his garage sales like each weekend for children's hospitals and stuff like that. So I thought that was very cool. But what we found from his house, we got 4 cords here. We've got an original first model Sega Genesis RF switch here. I don't have a first model Sega, so I just tested it with an NES. It works the same way, so that works. Very cool. We've got a Nintendo Wii AV cable here. Works great, so there's that. A 3DS charger. Also works great. This one was a little grungy, but I cleaned it up. Looks good now. And then we've got a Mad Catz aftermarket RF adapter for original Xbox, PS1, 2, or 3, and N64, GameCube, or even Super Nintendo. So, those 4 cords cost me 50 cents each. So, $2 for the 4, which is really cool. They all worked, so that's very exciting. He didn't have anything really else that were video game related, but that was still cool. He still found some video game stuff, which I cannot complain about, so very cool. Alright, and then we went to another garage sale, and this was being held at a middle school. It was out in the front parking lot of the middle school. It's kind of like a little community sale that they were having. And there was nothing really gaming related there, but this does benefit me. Remember I just showed you that Xbox 360 power brick? Well, I found a 300-volt computer power cord here that would plug into the wall, and this does work with it. So, and this was 50 cents. So, now I can say I put together a power brick for an Xbox 360 for $2.50. So, very cool. Very happy to find this. I cannot complain. 50 cents is really a really good deal for any cord, so that's very cool. Alright, and then the last garage sale we stopped at, guys. This is why you always ask for video games. And I can tell you, I can assure you, it is that easy. Don't ever get discouraged. Last year, I was so discouraged, but that was because I didn't try hard enough. If you try hard enough, you will succeed. And this is really cool, and this proves that. Nintendo 13, I'm talking to you, Amanda, specifically, because this find right here reminded me, as soon as I got home and tested this and everything, this reminded me of your find. And I thought this was really, really cool. I went to this sale. It was kind of it was in an older part of town, older neighborhood, and it's kind of on a main street. So these houses didn't have any garages, or they were kind of like on the have the brick steps, brick houses, stuff like that. They're old houses, and it was kind of really hard to try to pull into the side street so I could get to their yard sale. It was a yard sale because they don't have a garage, so nothing at all would have any relation to video games at this sale whatsoever. And I walked up to the guy. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Being friendly. That's how it's best to be done. And I was like, wondering if you had any video games. Do you have Nintendo? Do you have PlayStation? Do you have Sega? Do you have Atari? Anything like that. And he thought about it for a minute, and he's like, my wife might have a Wii, so let me go check real quick. And that was exciting because he did not have that out at the sale. And what was cool is he bring it out. Here it is. I'll go ahead and show you. It is a white Wii. We've got both doors on the top. It is the GameCube one. So very cool. Very clean unit. Maybe some minor scuffs and scratches on the sides, but there is the unit. Did not have any cords, controllers, sensor bar, nothing. So I asked him how much did he want for it. He's like, I don't know, throw me a number. I was like, how about $5? He's like, I'd really rather not. And I was like, alright, how about 10? And he's like, alright, let me go ask my wife real quick. And so he walks in, comes out about 30 seconds later, he's like, alright, that's fine. And to let you guys know, this thing was covered with like an inch of dust. So I mean, and I looked at it too. I tested it, hooked it up, works great. But the last time it was used was like November of 2010. So I mean, almost 6 years ago was the last time it was used. So that shows for the dust. But anyways, that's why they were willing to get rid of it. But not just because it was $10 for the Wii, but this game was inside, and it was such a surprise. I love bonus games. And it was a copy of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And that is exciting because, again, Nintendo 13, I'm talking about your find. You went to your local garage or Goodwill and found a red Wii. So your find was better than mine, of course. But the same deal applies here. We found New Super Mario Bros. Wii inside the console, which I don't know. I thought of you as soon as that game came out. I was like, wow, that is the same kind of scenario. So I thought that was very cool. So $10, guys, for a Wii with New Super Mario Bros. Wii in it. I cannot complain. But that just shows you guys, never give up. Always ask. Because even if it looks like, an older woman with like dishware and stuff out in her front yard, ask. Her son might have moved out 10 years ago and he left his NES or something like that. You never know. You never give up. Just keep trying. It'll happen. It is very, very guaranteeable because it's just that easy. You just gotta keep asking. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. And it was harder for me last year, and I just never really felt like it because I was just too discouraged. But if you ask enough, you'll find stuff. So that is very exciting. All right. Now off of the garage sale stuff. Now we went to a couple thrift stores. And we went to ARC, and this wasn't our local one. This was, a little bit farther away. We go to it anyway all the time. It's only like an extra 10 minutes of driving. But I found 3 cords here. I found a power cable, and it's the round, which would work on an original Xbox, which I need. So I found that. These cords were all $1, by the way, so very cool. Then we got official AV PS2 cables here, which is very cool. And then I got another computer cable here that would work with an Xbox 360 power cord, because I have a power brick but no end bit for this, so like this one, so this will work with it, so that's very cool. I was very happy to find that. So for $1 each, that's not bad at all. And then while we were there, we found 3 games. 2 original Xbox games and 1 Wii game, so very good. The first one here is Sega GT 2002 and Jet Set Radio Future Double Pack. Very cool. It's got both sides there, and it's got the double disc in there and both manuals. Very cool. So it is 100% complete. It's the not for resale limited edition package, which is really cool. That's basically how it was only released. And this was $2, so this is worth about maybe 8 or 9. So the disc is in very good shape, so that's very cool. All right, now we've got a Platinum Hits version of Tony Hawk's Underground, also $2. That one is complete as well. Very nice disc, so very cool. And then the last one here was pretty cool. It's one that's going to go in the collection for sure. I don't have it. And this one was $2.50. It was going to be $5, but it was half off at $2.50. And that is Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles, which is really cool. Very good shape. The disc is in there and the manual. It's all pretty good shape, so not bad for $2.50. I can't complain. So very cool.